Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading for May 26th to the end of the month. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right in. Welcome to one of the best weeks of the month, even of the year, right? One of the best new moons of the entire year as well. And listen, I want to just remind you what we've been, from January, from the beginning of... We're here now. We're finally here. Even last week, big historic week. And you're going to start seeing things pick up in this wonderful way. All right. This week and even last week, we've just never seen a week like it so far this year. All right. So one of the reasons why this week is so auspicious is because of the aspects last week. All right. Because what happened last week, obviously historic, but the other aspects that are just... they're powerful. They're so powerful. And remember, the bulk of them were happening like over the weekend. So you're feeling that. They're spilling over to this week and they will be bolstering and supporting this new moon. Okay, so please check out last week's reading if you didn't see it, because you are on the brink of something really big and something really new. Because remember, it's not just this. You've got Saturn, Neptune, and Ceres all conjuncting in Aries for the first time, right? In hundreds of years. This is the beginning of the beginning. And you do need to know a little bit about the aspects last week to understand the magnitude of this week and the new moon that's happening this week. Just know everything's syncing up, and I'll mention a couple of them. All right, but just know this is a very auspicious, feel good, exciting week. And you're going to be really social. I'm looking at what's going on for y'all. I'm like, whoa, this is really great. Some of y'all are starting new jobs too, or starting something new for sure with this new moon. Now, Monday, May 26th or the 27th, depending on where you live, we have the new moon in Gemini at 6 degrees. And it's happening on that Monday, May 26th at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's why I say, 26th, 27th. It is a super moon too, by the way, meaning it's orbiting really close to Earth. You are going to feel this. I've talked about the power of the moon. All right. Now, this new moon is Mercury ruled. And as you know, Mercury is Gemini's ruler. As you know, if you saw last week's reading, Mercury moved into Gemini in its domicile, right? Where it's at home over the weekend. So again, a lot of things from last week spilling over this week. Mercury's all about communication, launching new businesses. Mercury, the mercantile, right? Selling goods, selling things. This is also launching new projects. This is learning, teaching, writing, travel, a lot of family energy, siblings especially. So again, I talk about Mercury last week. If you want to know more, just know Mercury is now in Gemini conjuncting the moon. So you got Mercury and the moon making aspects with all the outer planets. They're sextiling Saturn and Neptune, conjuncting Uranus. And as you see, Mercury will trine Pluto. What? So you got the moon trining Pluto too, and remember from last weekend, the sun trined Pluto. So you can't make this up. You got Pluto trining the moon, the sun, and Mercury. That's amazing. Trines, by the way, are extremely harmonious, supportive. They make things easy for you. So we'll talk about this trine later. It's happening in your second house, okay, of money and finances. It's big. But this new moon, very optimistic, very enthusiastic, cheerful, electric. Yeah, it's fun, it's flirty, it's adventurous, it's enterprising. And it's very curious, creative, intellectual energy that you're going to feel, and also very collaborative, very mingling, very networking. Like I said, you've got a lot of social things happening in your chart for this week. So a lot of family stuff too. Wow, family and partnerships. Anyway, this is the last of 2 super new moons we have this year. Okay, so check out, I did a June astrology overview, just kind of like a preview, what to expect for June. Remember, it's the luckiest month of the year. And just see what I said, all right? So that's also, that new moon is also, that's going to be big for you. It's huge because it's conjuncting Jupiter. When have you seen a new moon conjunct Jupiter, right? So yeah, that one's on par with this one. Okay, that they have different flavors though, but I'll leave that video at the end of this video or in the description box. Just know this is one of the best, and it's because of all the aspects that it's having and what's happening this week too. And we're out of those intense energies, but just plant seeds, set intentions, put wheels in motion, sign contracts, agreements, plan trips. A lot of y'all are just going to anyway. Remember, you've got the North Node in Pisces still in your third house. That this is already happening for you. All right. Even plant mental seeds as well. Remember, Mercury is a mind. And remember, I said this is curiosity. This is creativity. Bring that into your life. This is like bringing new things into your life, right? And for your path to enlightenment, being on your karmic journey with the inspired actions that you take. So this is a week where you can just see great new paths opening up for you. All right. And remember, you're opening them too. You got the keys. You remember that, right? From last week. So speak to the moon. I say that all the time. Speak what you want into existence. That's energy. As above, so below, right? Especially for the first 3 days. Okay, that you're really going to feel the power of the new moon the first 3 days. And remember, it's just kicking off this new cycle for you. Everything is cyclical and it's at 6 degrees, mutable degree. That's a Gemini degree. All right. But it's attributed to Virgo, another mutable sign. What does this mean? You're adapting to change. Your life is changing this new moon, right? Now, this is the kicker. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, right? And this is the Mercury ruled new moon. And you throw in the 6, 7 Mercury aspects from last week and this week combined. Yeah, this is big. This is big. It's happening in your 6th house. And so what is that? 6th house is your everyday activities. It's your routines. It's your lifestyle. It's work. It's your duties, responsibilities when it comes to work, business, things like that. Okay. Health matters as well. Big. Like I said, lifestyle, so maybe even joining a gym or, becoming a trainer, a personal trainer, or there's just some major things happening here. And a lot of y'all are going to be getting pets or becoming vets too. All right. Now, so just be social. It's Mercury, social. Mercury's very social, right? And this is a very special time. All right. Network. And with what's happening for pretty much every sign, but since you do have the North Node in your 3rd house, and Gemini rules the 3rd house, so therefore Mercury rules the 3rd house. But remember what I said, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and this new moon is in your 6th house. Virgo natively rules that 6th house. Do you see what's happening for you, Capricorn? With your North Node in the 3rd, like this is big for you. So please network, and it's almost like I don't even have to say that because you will just be very social or, having conversations or even, again, thinking about a lot of things. But very likely you'll be getting emails and DMs and messages on your BlackBerry. From friends and families and siblings, recruiters, neighbors, wherever you're putting that energy. But that's going to be very possible and really heightened for you out of all the signs. All right. So just know you're on the brink of something big and new. And remember, Mercury, the mind. So big ideas, too, that you may have and big breakthroughs and shifts in perspective. Why? Because Mercury is in Gemini with Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini, too. Jupiter, Jove, king of the gods, who brings luck and good fortune and wisdom and expansion and profit and abundance. There's a higher mind. You have a stellium in Gemini. You got Mercury, the sun, Jupiter, the moon, and Hygeia. Yeah? Hygeia just moved into Gemini last week. This is big. And then Sedna. And yes, I will do a separate video on Sedna and Gemini. I told you that one of the reasons why you're about to see some of the big changes in 2025. And even 2026 and 2027 is because of Sedna, who's at the front leading the brigade with Pluto in Aquarius, right? So Sedna and Gemini, the first time, right? Since the last ice age, like 12,000 years. So that's a big thing, but we'll talk about it in another video. Just know that Jupiter and Gemini, the twin, okay, often does bring two opportunities or two paths. So just pick the path, create the path that brings you joy and faith and expansion and self-belief. It's Jupiter expanding things here, right? So do what brings you joy, because this is a genuinely joyful new moon and a major upgrade because of what's happening over the weekend and from last week. Saturn, your ruling planet, bringing that stability for the long term. Okay. A lot of you are going to feel it in home and family and real estate, buying property, maybe moving. And then you got Neptune involved as well, bringing in that compassion and your ideals and creativity on top of all that creative energy that's already here, and heightened intuition. Remember your vision. And then you've got Saturn, Neptune, both freshly new in Aries, right? Initiating, pioneering, doing something new, right? This is big, okay? Really big. Some of y'all are having families. Some of y'all are expanding your families or feeling that happening. Maybe your, kids are having kids. There's a lot happening, and especially with neighbors. So wouldn't be surprised if y'all are moving or buying property, all of that. All right. So anyway, just don't forget it. Saturn, Neptune, and Ceres. All right. All conjuncting. That makes it powerful, because it's not like they're just in Aries in your fourth house. They're merging their energies right now. So you are building this new path, this new future. Remember, Uranus, progress, innovation, breakthroughs, just had that major conjunction with Mercury the weekend moving into this. So that's big. Uranus and Taurus in your fifth house of true love and romance, like you're getting married or having kids. Fifth house is, procreation. And creative projects and family, children. So you see how you got family stuff, a lot of family stuff that's happening, and social stuff. And we'll get to that in a second, like your friendships. Because, well, I'll tell you now, it's Pluto, right? All the Sun, trine, Pluto, all that Pluto energy, that's big. Pluto in Aquarius, your second house. So second house is not only like self-worth and self-value and builds that confidence within you, especially with all this Saturn and Neptune energy. Second house is also money. It's salary, it's income, it's finances. So when you do the math, a lot of y'all are getting new jobs, starting side hustles, side gigs, maybe getting promoted. Maybe you're hiring people. There's stuff happening. There's a lot of big stuff happening. Maybe you're doing something with your family. Maybe you are opening up like, an Airbnb empire. There's just some big things happening for you. Now, Pluto actually natively rules your 11th house, which is your social network. It is networking. It is your support system. It is benefactors and allies. It's, your friendships. It's your communities. It's also your future hopes, wishes, long-term goals, and dreams. So do you see how y'all are just gonna be social or, definitely collaborating in some capacity. Remember, Uranus is moving to Gemini in 2 months. We'll be trining Pluto in Aquarius. So a lot of y'all, that's all year. You're going to be having breakthroughs all year, but there's something here where you have a huge emphasis on work and making money. So maybe even starting something like a hobby of yours and figuring out how to monetize it in some way. So a lot of great things happening for you, Capricorn. Now, before we even get to the new moon, this is why this day is so special too. On Monday, there is this mini golden triangle with the moon, Pluto, and Ceres, freshly new in Aries. And yeah, you can throw a Neptune because Neptune's here as well, hovering close, part of the party. But this is happening at 3 degrees. And I don't make this up. 3 degrees is the Mercury degree. Like I said, there's a lot of mercurial energy. So 3 degrees is the Gemini degree. And so we'll talk about that in the second spread. That's big, all right? Where we talk about lunations and asteroids and planetoids and, a lot of other things. But You got a lot going on for you. You have a lot of fun stuff. Now, if you are a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon or for your, husband, your best friend, whoever it is, your, puppet, mutable signs, right? Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. I'm going to throw in Aries, Libra, Leo, and Aquarius as well. We'll really feel this new moon. Now, it is strong. Everyone's going to feel it. But if you know your birth chart, your natal chart, if you have planets 3 to 9 degrees in Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, right? The air signs, or Leo, or Aries, okay? Fire. You're really going to feel this. And I will throw in Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius too. All right? Because all the mutable signs really will. Anyway, with this new moon, I really do want you to ask yourself, Capricorn, because this is the biggest deal of all for you, right? Where do you want to be in 6 months for the corresponding full moon that's happening in your birthday season in December? Where do you want to be? Okay? So I think it's right before your birthday season. Nonetheless, it's December. So remember, December 2025, there's that corresponding full moon. And then we move into 2026. That's the year. Yeah? 10. Year 10, right? So think about that as you plant seeds and set intentions and take those inspired actions. And speaking of 6 months, 6, I said this new moon is at 6 degrees. You have a really strong 6 energy here. 6 is beautiful. It's harmony. It's empathy. It's kindness. It's nurturing, even intuitive energy. So again, joyful new moon. Now, the last thing, please don't forget this. This is the most important thing of all. This new moon, what did I say? 11 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. So any seeds you plant, any intentions you set, you want to do it at that time or after, because that's when you get the portal of energy. Okay? That said, Tuesday, May 27th, great day. What a great day, because remember, you got the sun, moon, and now Mercury trining Pluto in Aquarius at 3 degrees. That's just bonkers. Mercury trine Pluto, you only get like twice a year, so it is pretty rare. And Mercury trine Pluto is confidence. It's empowerment. And you have it in your second house of self-belief and that self-empowerment. This is great for you. And this is Mercury. So this is you being very influential, right? Impressing VIPs, bosses, authorities, anything that has to do with communication or the mind, right? But you are definitely going to see very likely, people opening doors for you around this time with this new moon. I mean, it is your second house, especially with something that has to do with money or wealth or your long-term future hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's a big thing, all right? Business, new projects, all of that on the table here. Now, what I love about Mercury trine Pluto is that this aspect is so great with, Pluto and Aquarius in terms of making new friends, in terms of someone that having a profound impact on you, right? This is great. And this is a great week. And again, Pluto and Aquarius is the collective, right? It's also like friendships, community. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And again, with Sedna in Gemini at 0 degrees, right? Trining Pluto and Aquarius for years, you are going to feel this shift in the collective. But Pluto trining the moon, sun, and Mercury. Just wait. That is a big deal, because you throw in Mars and Leo at this time too, the sun being the ruler for Leo. I mean, natively for you, that's your 8th house, but you got Mars and Leo here anyway. That is your 8th house of wealth building. That's your 8th house of money, of shared assets and resources, inheritance, investments, bonuses, commissions, loans, taxes, things like that. It's also sex. You have a lot of, that's the 8th house. You've got Uranus and Taurus still that have that conjunction in your 5th house. And so there could be something here really, truly with, intimacy or, having kids. 8th house is also death and rebirth. So it's your personal transformation. Okay. This is a big week for you. It's all, so basically, it's partnerships, relationships, building them. There's this depth here with partnerships and relationships for you all week, okay? all week, Capricorn, all week. Because you have the moon in Cancer too. That's, Cancer is your opposite sign. All right. So partnerships and relationships. And then you have, I was going to mention this later. I'll just tell you now. Juno will square Mars all week. All right. So again, partnerships and relationships going to be a big thing for you this week. Now, just expect transformation, personal growth, opportunities. Mercury trine Pluto is when you can get great news that you've been waiting for as well. Maybe since January 29th, 2025, when we had Mercury conjunct Pluto. Just know, again, it's at 3 degrees. So feel curious and expressive and social and open-minded to new experiences here, right? So this is exciting. Again, with the fact that you have Saturn, Neptune, and Ceres all freshly new in Aries that impacts the cardinal signs like you the most, especially because Saturn is your ruler and it's all at that 0-1 degree point. Just know, yes, huge new path opening up for you right now. All summer long. Remember what I said, out with the old, in with the new. A lot of this will have to do with home and family, but for you, just you. What do you want? What are the changes you want that you want to make? Okay. Now, I did say there's a lot of mercurial energy. So there's all right. And what that is that when you have so much of that, it can be a little too chatty or too cerebral or, being a little bit scattered. So a great week not to overthink, a great week not to overanalyze, right? You want to have all of mind, body, heart, spirit, all of that, okay? That balance, because it can bring a little bit of like think before you speak energy. You will also feel likely a little bit restless. Mercury does rule the nervous system, and there's like 7 aspects, and not in a bad way. It's like more in a way of like, you got things to say. I gotta say these things, or you got things to do. Remember, Mercury's Hermes, it's action, right? So you've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries too. So you are entering this brave new world and you're excited about it. There's that visionary, compassionate leader, hero, role model, everything we talked about last week. Just avoid the lower expressions of delusion and confusion that is possible with what's happening. And a little bit of like, with all this Mercury energy, like let's read the room kind of energy as well. But you're Capricorns. Y'all are the leaders. Y'all are going to be fine. All right. And again, this is all about the mindset too. Mercury, the mind. All right. So it can be a very transcendent week. It is such a wonderful week. But just remember, everything is energy. And I say that all the time. And that does include the thoughts in your head. That's energy, right? You're putting energy there. The words that come out of your mouth, energy. And so the words that you write, right? In an email, wherever it is. Okay. So always vibrate at that high frequency because this is a very high frequency week. And don't forget, Capricorn, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Who said that? Leave it in the comments. No Googling, no cheating. You'll get a sticker. I'll even give you, I don't even know who that is. I'll give you Garth. Is that Wayne or Garth? I'll give you Garth. Anyway, not on the whiteboard is, the moon on Thursday and Friday will be in Cancer. So again, this is kind of a big deal for you because Cancer is your opposite sign. And the moon rules Cancer. The moon will now be in its rulership, right? And its home sign. And you're just going to have home, family, loved ones, a lot of emphasis there all week, especially around these days, as well as partnerships and relationships. And that can be career if that's where your energy is. Yeah. And legal matters. Remember what I said, Juno square Mars all week. Juno, Jupiter's wife, squaring Mars all week. All right. So that would be more friendships. There may be something here with friendships, but anyway, we'll talk about it, right? So the biggest thing of all, and actually Ceres is going to square the moon. And I did talk about this in my June astrology overview. Again, a lot of the things that we discussed in the second spread, the bonus spread, for the June astrology overview, I just give you a little bit of like a example of something that we talk about. Like, for instance, Sirius. Okay, the fact that Sirius will square the moon too. That's kind of a big deal. Like mother energy, you as a mother or grandmother or a maternal figure, things like that. Okay. Sirius is in your 4th house of home and family and parents and grandparents and children. So you will be impacted. You will feel this energy if you have, for instance, I mean, Sirius is squaring the moon. I mean, some of y'all may actually listen. Do you live far from your mother for a reason, Capricorn? Is there a reason why you need distance? You love her, y'all get on great, but you can't see her every day. You can't talk to her every day, right? That's Sirius squaring the moon. Anyway, these asteroids and planetoids, that's why we do this. Anyway, Thursday, May 29th to Friday, May 30th. Yeah, I'm saying it for these 2 days because, well, you got the Sun conjunct Mercury and Gemini. Remember, Mercury, planet of the mind, now in the heart of the sun. So think of that alignment. Now, we have Kazimis a couple times a year, but why is this special? Because this is Mercury in its rulership in Gemini with the Sun in Gemini with Jupiter in Gemini too, by the way. And this Kazimi is at 9 degrees. So you will feel it on Thursday, May 29th. It's going to perfect on Friday. You're going to feel it the most on Friday. And with it being at 9 degrees, that's another mutable degree. And that is the Sagittarius degree. Jupiter's a ruler of Sagittarius. What did I say? Jupiter's in Gemini. And so all that's happening here is in the first decan of Gemini. So what does that mean? Jupiter and Mercury are both going to be really strong. Really, really, really strong. All right. You're really going to feel it. And it's great. It's one of the best aspects of the month. This is clarity. It's a refresh or even a reset of the mind. It's very Ace of Swords. It's like wake up call too, especially coming after the Uranus Kazimi with Mercury that, again, you're still feeling this week. Okay. So any buildup up here, if there's been a lot of buildup, this is clearing the decks now. This is you having that moment for Capricorn 2.0. All right. You will feel this 1000%. And remember, everything happening here is ramping up to June. Luckiest month of we're all looking forward to June. All right. And don't forget, Juno square Mars. That is going to be, and Juno's still, like I told you, trining. I don't know. Wait, did I tell you? Juno is still trining your North Node. Remember, your North Node in Pisces in your 3rd house. Mercury rules the 3rd house. Gemini rules the 3rd house. You have a lot of 3rd house activity that's happening this week. All right. One last thing I'll tell you. I talk about this in your June astrology overview that I did, that live stream. And I'm just going to tell you now because a lot of y'all are definitely going to feel this. On Sunday, which would be June 1st, which is why I talked about it in the June astrology overview on Sunday, we have this rare, so Venus, Chiron, and Eris, Mars' sister, the goddess warrior, conjuncting, but perfecting on Sunday. So that's powerful. So again, all of that's happening in your 4th house of home and family and significant other, your relationships, with your parents, with your children, things like that. Neighbors could be in the mix here too with a North Node activated, but even maybe a realtor. It's your 4th house. Foundation building as well. So if you are here for, money or love or relationships or old wounds or even creative work, creative projects, because that's a big thing for you this week. Yeah. You will feel the Venus, Chiron, Eris conjunction. Let's get started for this amazing week. And it's not a bad thing. It's healing, right? So anyway, let's get started, Capricorn. Let's see what's going on for you for May 26th to the end of the month. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There we go. Capricorn. Listen, I do a traditional Celtic cross spread, offers the best overview if we need to pull clarifiers. You know that we will. And this is a big week. This is a big week. Really excited for you. What else was I going to say? You know I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I was going to name my new Venus flytrap Venus. I don't know. Let me know if you can think of a nicer name than Venus. It's just so predictable. Actually, I think I do need my glasses. All right, so let's get started, Capricorn. Oh gosh. Look at me. All right. Well, you're good. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You see that your life is literally changing. Yeah. All right. So big. You got the 10 of Wands. Things are ending for you. Even things that you've been going through where it's like, right? Because it's a little bit, look at him. He's like, it's like backbreaking work to carry these wands. Okay. So you're coming to the end. This is your recent past, the 10 of Wands. So just keep that in mind. There's something here. And again, for a lot of y'all, it may be something up here that, again, you may have clarity about something this week. But for a lot of y'all, yes, because you got the 10 of Wands, which is all about endings, right? 10, 1, 0 equals 1 for this new beginning. Just don't take on too much. All right. Ask yourself, is this, for a lot of y'all, yeah, it's like you're finally coming to the end of something that was worth it. Right. So it's great, but just be mindful of your health because of Ceres conjuncting your ruler, freshly new in Aries. Okay. Ceres is all, Persephone's mother, the mother archetype, but also nurturing, self-care, all of that health-wise. All right. So the fact that you have this new moon in your 6th house of health too. So let things illuminate. Now, wow. Yeah. You saw your last week's reading. Yeah? Did you see it? You did. And so can we talk about the progression here? How when you get the world, which is attributed to Saturn, your ruler, right? And it's the end of a bigger story. And this is the end of the major arcana. Yeah. When you get it last week in your future, and then as we know, weeks are sequential, right? Just like this, right? And now you have it in the heart of your spread. Yeah. Now you're one step closer to that. Everything is ending for this new beginning. Okay. New. If your life was a trilogy, you're not entering a new chapter. It's the second book, right? This is big with this, and then again just with that progression. So anyway, be very proud of yourself. There's something big ending here, and there is a sense of like, yeah, you are feeling proud of yourself this week. Okay, there's something new happening in a big way. You got the Knight of Swords in your challenge area. 2 things. 1, yes, everything that I said about the lower expressions of too much mercurial energy, this is your reminder, okay? Because the Knight of Swords is Gemini. And you see that he's fearless. He's going after what he wants. Nothing's going to stop him. He's going into the storm. He's in your challenge area. So just be mindful. He can be a little bit impulsive. He can be a little like just saying things without everything that I said earlier. Just be mindful of that. All right. Secondly, there may be someone in your life you're going to have to slow that person down. Maybe not on the same page. Okay. That's another thing. So remember, this week is all about communication. And just even your mind could be going. Remember, I said bring it all in. Mind, body, spirit, all of it. Now, you do have so just be mindful of that. And this, with Juno square Mars this week, yeah, there is an element of what I said earlier. It could be a friend too, a community, group, benefactor, ally, any of that, right? But big thing is compromise. All right? 7 of Wands. Great. That's, in your crown. The one thing I'm going to say is that this is great because it is, this card's all about valor. Yeah. It's all about, putting your foot down, drawing a line in the sand. And so there is a competitive spirit here. This card actually is attributed to Mars in Leo, which is happening right now. Actually, no, this is Saturn in Leo. That's a Saturn in Leo, but still, that's like Saturn, which is, what that is. It's like discipline, it's the authority, but it can be like a little bit hard when you got these two Saturn cards. Actually, you have three. You have the 10 of Wands, Saturn and Sagittarius. So a lot of Saturn energy here. Let me just see if you have any other Saturn cards. No, so Saturn, as you know, your ruling planet moving into a different sign for the first time in, you've never experienced it. What, like 300, or it's been 30 years. So you have experienced Saturn in Aries. You haven't experienced Saturn in Aries with Neptune in Aries, with Ceres in Aries at that 0-1 degree point. All right. So brand new, fresh, new. This is all indicating that. So there may be something here. Ask yourself, is there something that you're fighting for? Okay. Is it something that, is it worth your time? Okay. For what you're moving into. All right. For some of y'all. All right. I'm just, with that Knight of Swords here, and then with the Eight of Cups and the reader spread, just have that moment, because a lot of y'all, it will be mostly you're ending something. Some people might not like it. They may be a little, we need you, right? That's what's happening too. Okay. It could be like, maybe you are the manager, and you've got employees and you're like, you know what? I'm going to start my own thing now. I'm leaving. I quit, whatever. You know what it is? And they're all just like, no, you can't quit. You got to do this. You got to, we need you. We need that kind of energy is very possible. Wands are, very, it's a lot of creative energy. It's your ambitions as well, but a lot of career energy here. Okay. Now, the Eight of Cups and the reader spread, actually, Saturn and Pisces. You have 4 Saturn cards. By the way, remember you've got the North Node in Pisces still. You've got Juno trining the North Node in your 3rd house, communicating. But either way, and again, it's also learning new things as well. There's a lot of things here saying that you're moving into the new. You even see him leaving those cups behind. He's moving to higher ground. He's trusting his intuition, and it could be a bittersweet moment. But it's like, finally, I need to do this. I need to move into the new. All right. You even see the eclipse happening. So it is this game-changing moment. Wow. You have 4 Saturn cards. That's insane. That's insane. You're really going to feel, remember I said, at the end of the day, it's more about you, right? Saturn's your ruler. It's more about you and the changes you make, the decisions you make, everything that, All right. Anyway. You do have the 4 of Pentacles in your future. What's really interesting about this is that it's not a Saturn card, but it's your card. It's Sun in Capricorn. So very interesting here. That's just saying, yeah, you're coming out of something major this week. Okay. And again, feel accomplished. There may be some people that may be a little like bear pokey too, but also there may be a little bit of you like asking yourself, is something here worth holding on to or fighting for? Just think about that. It may be in your mind anyway, and it's again up to you. But you have the 4 of Pentacles. Remember, 4 is all about that foundation building, right? It's all about the it's stability, it's security. That's what the 4 is. And there's Pentacles, so it's money and wealth. Remember, so that's a big thing for you, wealth building, right? And so this is actually really good, but just don't be disconnected from other people, okay? That's all it is. Take your time. Remember, even with Ceres, right? Traveling with Saturn, your ruler, and Neptune and Aries, which you will feel, you and all the cardinal signs will feel that the most, right? So just be mindful. There is that sense of self-care, okay? But that's in order for you to be strong enough to take care of those around you. And it seems like that's exactly what you're doing here. Just don't let, I usually say, don't let like the money own you. You see, he's got a pentacle on his head. He's clutching one strongly, right? Covering up his heart. He's standing on 2. Pentacles, so he's disconnected from Earth. So that's what I'm saying. Just don't be disconnected. You have a lot of social stuff happening with you this week. All right. But definitely it's putting things in order. And that's what you do when you start something new anyway. Let's get to your stuff. Capricorn. If you like this reading, would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. And you know I love y'all. What is going on? There's a lot happening for you. There's a lot happening for you. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay. You're good. You're good. You're good. You have the Two of Swords. Yeah. Take that time. That's what I was feeling a little bit earlier with that Seven of Wands. Now we know. All right. With that Two of Swords. Yeah, there may be something that I feel a little bit of that there's a little bit of resistance here. All right. With the Two of Swords. And maybe there is something where you need to go within. Her back is turned to both the sea, right? And the moon. So trust your intuition and your emotions. Really have that moment of exploring your emotions too. And don't shut yourself out from other people. If you need to, that's fine, but don't do it for weeks. Just have your moment where you're comfortable enough to take off that blindfold with something that there's just something we've got to, face now, right? There's some decision too that you may have to make. You got Temperance as well. You're going to be fine. I mean, you literally have two archangels here, right? So you're going to be fine. You have Archangel Michael in your external factors area saying, hey, Capricorn, I know you're on a new journey. I know you're on a new path. Everyone's on a path, and I make sure you're going to get there. You even see the pathway here. Moving to a crowned sun. So you're going to be fine. You're guided. I'm protecting you. You're good. All right. So don't be afraid. And a lot of this is remember, really strong mercurial energy, but also, what did I say last week? Practice patience. Saturn, your ruler. It's almost like I don't have to tell you this because Saturn is your ruler. So you've worked with Saturn your entire life. But Saturn moving into Aries would be practice patience, wax on, wax off. Same thing with Temperance. This is all about patience, moderation, not going to extremes. Even trying new things out. Yeah. Temperance was formerly the alchemist, mixing things up. Ten of Cups. You're great. You got the card of complete joy, right? Jove, I told you earlier. Jupiter really active this week. But anyway, you see what I said about look, it's a happy couple, happy kids, happy family, happy home, happy everything. You have a lot of home stuff this week. So at the end of the day, this is just an emotional fulfillment. It's cups, it's emotions, it's feelings, it's relationships. Yeah. What I say about relationships and your final outcome. So a lot of emphasis here when you have Archangel Raphael and the blast of the sun here, optimism, abundance, opportunity, everything. The sun, it's just it's that life force, right? Let's call them Adam and Eve, right? This is big. This is big. It's a very spiritual card. You see Adam looking at Eve, Eve looking at the Archangel. That's conscious, subconscious, super conscious. Okay. What did I say earlier about mind, body, spirit? If you want to see it that way too. Okay. Same thing here with the Archangel, with Archangel Michael. All right. That Temperance, having that balance, mind, body, spirit. Bring it all in. All right. You're going to be fine. But this is all about those choices. This is the Gemini card. The Lovers is attributed to Gemini. So a lot of this can be career for you, but a lot of y'all have, like I said, marriage, and you have a lot of partnership stuff. And by default, this is the Lovers. So it can be career, it can be family, it can be a friend, whatever resonates with you. But there's something here where it just feels like there's something, as in a decision you're going to have to make, a choice you have to make. You have the power to choose to take something to the next level. Okay? And it's great. You're great. You're good. You're all set up. You're good. You're just have that. That's the only thing is up here. Is there something that you have to now recognize? Okay? And perhaps leaving the past. Remember, out with the old, in with the new. Saturn. Well, you do have a lot that, I can't believe you have 4 Saturn cards and then yours, and then, you have Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini. Okay. But that is attributed to Moon in Libra, by the way. So that also represents like partnerships and relationships for you. Anyway, Capricorn, if you like this reading, would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. And yeah, second spread, we're gonna do a second. We'll do a spread on the new moon. We'll isolate it. I'm gonna tell you about Juno square Mars. Clearly, you're gonna feel that all week. I'm gonna tell you a day not to sign contracts or have an important conversation. And we'll talk about the weekend a little bit more. All right, there's a lot. Oh, Eric. So tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. And next week, you know what we're doing. Where are we now? All right. So Capricorn, I love y'all. All right. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.